new assistant professor here at Providence College in the Department of Public and Community Service and in Black Studies. And I'm originally from Chicago, but I recently moved to Providence from Wisconsin. I was at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where I got my PhD in educational policy studies. And so my research pretty much looks at the experiences of Black girls in middle school. My study focused predominantly on suburban schools that were predominantly white institutions. However, largely a lot of the research looks at Black girls both in suburban schools, but then also within what we would consider urban schools. And so my research pretty much just looks at how they experience the school daily, and I created a program alongside 5 other women called Black Girl Magic. And so I also studied the ways that they use the group to foster their identity and build community with each other. So Black Girl Magic is basically what I would call a community engaged program. So it took place within a school, and so that's why I say community engaged instead of community based. But myself and 5 other women went into the school to create a group where the girls could just pretty much escape, talk about their identity, explore what it meant to be a Black girl, and to also redefine that for themselves. And it was also a place for them to just build community with one another, because they hadn't often interacted with each other outside of the classroom. And so now actually kind of transition here to Providence, and I'm working with Gilbert Stewart Middle School, which is more of a urban school, not predominantly white institution. However, the girls are still just interested in talking about what it means to be a Black girl to them. And so we operate as an after-school program now on Zoom since we are in the pandemic. And so it's pretty much been every week we'll meet with the girls for about an hour, and we do different activities. So that's pretty much what Black Girl Magic is all about. I think the goals of the program are just to make sure that the girls are able to completely fall in love with themselves, completely define what it means to be a Black girl for themselves. I think a lot of things in the media sometimes can cause us to have a negative perception of who we are. And so my goal is for the girls to just understand what it means to them, be proud of who they are, and just kind of take that with them and carry it throughout their lives. So I work with 4 students, and I recently just brought on a graduate student who is a volunteer. And so the 4 students who are undergraduates, they serve as mentors as well as the graduate student. And so they pretty much just join the group every week with us, and they help facilitate, whether it be with icebreakers or they help facilitate the activities or if we're having conversations. And then I meet with them weekly as well to kind of just touch base on how the week went. Earlier on, when we first started last semester, I would just kind of guide them and just discuss with them how to kind of run the program, what it looks like to facilitate this program, what it looks like to allow the girls to kind of lead the space as opposed to us leading it. And so that was a little bit more of the training side, and now I feel like we work together as a team to create the programming, to create the activities, and then also to participate with the girls. The grant was actually something that I became aware of through Keith Morton, who is my department chair. And basically, Nellie Mae was looking to fund programs that focus specifically on anti-Blackness, trying to eradicate that. And so that's really another central goal of the program, is to have the girls address different forms of racism, sexism that they may come up against. And so the Nellie Mae Foundation funded the program, which has been extremely helpful this year, because in the past I haven't had a lot of financial resources to support either the facilitators or to support the girls in providing them with supplies and materials. And so the Nellie Mae Foundation has really helped out this year, where we have a lot of supplies, a lot of materials. Last week we just did a paint project where we had an artist come in, and I was able to supply the students with canvases and paint, and and pallets, and so those are things that I have not been able to do in the past. Another thing is we were able to get t-shirts and masks for the students so that they can feel like a part of something, and so that has been really amazing that the foundation was able to support Black Girl Magic in this way. I hope to continue it. I've been in conversation with a few other schools and just kind of starting to see if we can have the program expand. But I also would love to foster the partnership with Gilbert Stewart, because that is pretty much where I started here in Providence. And so I would love for those students to continue participating in the program. I would love to take on more students next year and the years to come. And ultimately, my goal is eventually to see the students who are participating now eventually create their own Black Girl Magic groups, or maybe lead this up in the future as well. I just would like to thank the Nellie Mae Foundation for their support, and I'm very appreciative for all of the support that I've received here at Providence College, and the connections that I've made both in the community and with the students here on campus as well too.